Hey everybody, it's Jimmy and Bill. So we found a nice shady area because Bill was overheating. So, and he wanted a breeze. So here we are. Basically we have a good one today. It's what are Florida's new homeowner association laws and how to find your homeowners association rules. So basically, let's talk about this. HOAs could be a nightmare. I don't care. I just recently had a problem with my HOA. You had a problem with your HOA.
Right.
Okay. And I believe there's some good HOAs and there's some bad HOAs. This is not a video to beat up on homeowners associations.
No, not at all.
Okay.
No. And I think overall, disclaimer-wise, I think you got a good HOA. Realistically,
I do.
You know, comparative, and then so do I. Like, I'm a little partial. Our HOA and our CDD board, they're really good because they keep our community, and that's the point of this, which we'll get into.
But sometimes, you know, you get an overzealous person that's on the board and they're like, hey, like in my situation, your mailbox numbers might be a little bit not the right correct shade of gold, you know, things like that. Change your numbers, you know.
Right.
And like you're having a little situation. I don't know if you want to talk about it, but it's like,
an interpretation of the language in our deed restrictions has come into question, not because of me, but because of somebody else, which then they drew me into it somehow.
Yeah. And meanwhile, you've been dealing with the same way for years. And
everything's been the same for like the past 15 years, but that's okay.
So it's basically, it's not a good pro-con HOA. That's not the kind of, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a lot about Florida here and Florida HOA's rules and things that you do have to watch out for. Because if you're buying a house or you're buying a condo, you're buying a townhouse and you're in HOA and you don't do your due diligence, you could be screwing yourself.
Yeah, you really do need to read the rules. It's extremely important. Contractually, when you buy a condo, as an example, you're supposed to get the rules and have a grace period to read them. We won't go into all the specifics on that, but just understand that you have that. And then it also has to be disclosed to you when you're buying a residential house, non-condo type purchase. You have, again, you have to just be disclosed that you have HOA rules, but they don't necessarily have to be handed to you, so you can collect them.
And we're going to be quoting some laws according to this article, so full disclosure, we're reading them right from the article. Okay, so go ahead, Bill, let's get started once you read the open paragraph.
All right, more than 75 million Americans live in subdivision condo buildings or other communities with homeowners associations that require them to pay monthly fees and follow a set of rules.
That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. So just be aware that, you know, so you're gonna have your CCRs, your deed restrictions, and you're gonna have a board, whether it's your CDD board, which is one type of entity, and then could have an HOA board. And then in condos, you can actually have an HOA board and a condo association. There's some that have dual. Okay. So you just have to be aware, and they do have sometimes conflicting rules, and that's kind of where my situation came in.
Yeah, because the master HOA is different from the your subdivision and everything too. Hey, in the meantime, do me a favor, subscribe. I'll leave it at that. Thanks. Go ahead. Gotta throw that one in.
We'll skip down to some of this stuff, but in Florida, the average member of a homeowners association pays anywhere from $100 to $500 in HOA fees each month, according to Miami Real Estate Law Office of Fernandez and Associates. So with your fees, you know, the different associations cover different things with your association fees. So there's an association on a house that I looked at today. The association is about $180 a month for theirs, but it also covers trash, basic internet, and basic cable as part of the community. So you're getting those things as, you know, so you're getting something more for your money than just, you know, the typical management stuff.
Yeah, but some, you know, HOAs, you know, you like you just said, they might be paying 180, whatever you just said, but next month, if it's a condo building and there's a special assessment, you might be paying from 180 to 900. So you really have to, if you're going to a condo, you have to ask them if there's any special assessments.
Right. So usually you write a letter to the board and say, hey, is there any upcoming or tabled assessments that you guys are going to vote on here in the near future or that have been shot down? So you just kind of want to go in with as much information as possible when you're making a decision. HOAs can also assess you depending on what is being covered by your HOA fees for different things, just like a CDD board and a condo association.
Yeah, I'm personally not fond of HOAs unless they're very, very light HOAs like the one I'm in. I just thought we pay like once a year, like a couple $100, and they take care of a little patch of grass and one palm tree someplace. Right. Yeah. So it's that. So in Florida, the average member of a homeowner, you just went over that, pays 100 to 500 in HOA fees, but we were just talking about how it could increase. Okay.
So basically this goes on to say, what are the new Florida HOA laws in 2024? In 2023, 6 bills that reshape homeowners' rights and HOA responsibilities were signed into state law, according to this article. And there are 2 more new HOA laws set to take effect in Florida this summer.
So let's talk about those laws. Okay. House Bill 919 took effect in October 2023. Basically, let's see if we understand, because we're reading a law now. According to this article, HOA boards used to be able to fine members for not complying with the rules and regulations. But after the leaders of Homeowners Association in Miami were accused of theft and fraud in the tune of $2 million, Florida lawmakers approved a bill nicknamed Homeowners Association Bill of Rights. Under this bill, HOA members in Florida can't be fined or suspended by violating the association's bylaws or rules unless 2-week notice is delivered to members via email or mailing address in the HOA's official records. Okay, I didn't know that one.
Nope, that's a good one. That's a good one.
So basically, if a member emails you and says, hey, you're breaking this violation, and they email you, it has to be in their records.
Right, they have to, they have to prove that they've notified you, because if you don't get the letter, how can you fix the problem, number one, and have the opportunity, or even have the problem,
So basically, from what I'm understanding from this bill, in this article, if you get an email, you have the right to say, hey, let me show me where it's officially in your records. All right, go for the next bill.
All right, House Bill 949 took effect October 23. This bill mainly applies to communities with heavy golf cart traffic. It sets clear age restrictions for golf cart drivers and buckles down on safety for neighborhoods where residents drive golf carts almost as much as they drive cars. And we do have a lot of those around here.
Yeah, even with my mother's HOA, I kind of agree with that one, because some of them, they just cross the road, and then you have little kids driving them.
Right, underage people who just, they're golf cars per se, because they're on the road, right? So there's certain restrictions. Like in my neighborhood, a lot of people drive golf carts, but they're not the golf cart that you see necessarily on the golf course. These things move pretty quickly. They have brake lights, turn lights, windshield wipers, all that good stuff that we're supposed to have here. And we even still see it consistently, younger and younger people driving that don't even have a driver's license yet.
I know 2 young kids, they loaded up the golf cart with like 5 to 6 kids, and they tipped it over, and a lot of them got hurt. Yeah,
and nobody wants to see that.
No.
So it's good that there's at least some restrictions on this now.
All right, so House Bill 437, Florida Statute 720.3045, took effect in July 2023. According to HOA lawyers L.S. Carson Law, the statute essentially grants homeowners greater autonomy over their property by limiting the ability for HOAs to penalize homeowners for storing items in their backyard that may not be visible from the front or the side. The provision recognizes the importance of personal space and the right for homeowners to utilize their property as they see fit, provided it doesn't visibly disrupt the harmony of the community. That's a good one.
That's a great one.
Okay.
Yeah, because what was happening is, you would have something in your backyard that maybe the HOA could see from the road, and let's just say it's a swing set for, the little ones, and they decided that it disrupted everything and blah, blah, and they were telling you couldn't have it. So this opens the door to perhaps put a little more leniency on what you can have in your backyard.
The best is this person had his boat in in the side yard, and the HOA complained about it. So they said that he had to fence it so they couldn't see it. And he built the fence, okay, like a wooden fence on it, but then he had a professional artist paint the boat onto the fence. So it still looks like the boat is there, but it's actually a painting of the boat, and the boat's behind the fence.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So you might get in trouble for that one, but you know, you never know. Everybody's rules are a little bit different here.
Go for the next bill.
154, yep, Senate Bill 154 took effect June 2023. In the aftermath of the Champlain Towers collapse, Senate Bill 154 emerged as a critical piece of legislation reflecting Florida's resolve to prevent such tragedies. The law mandates rigorous inspections for condominiums, particularly those that are 3 stories or higher. And I'll say that again, 3 stories and up. That's important. Located near the beach or a body of water. The provision aims to identify and address structural issues, proactively ensuring the safety and integrity of buildings according to L.S. Carson law.
I think that's a good one.
It is. I mean, this is probably
this is the special assessment one.
Yeah, this one's going to have a little, this one might be a little tenuous, if you will. And let us know if you've had a problem with your condo association or if you've been assessed.
This is also, I'm just throwing my 2 cents in, you could say, this is why condos are kind of collapsing here in Florida. This is part of the reason.
Yeah, their values are declining because of some of these issues.
On the older condos.
Yeah, so because they have to have these milestone reports done, and if there's been any deferred maintenance, or when the engineer comes in, they see some something that's coming up, but they don't have the reserves or the money budgeted specifically for that item, the associations with this law in certain instances will be required to do what's called a special assessment. And they basically divide it up amongst all the homeowners in the condo, and they figure it out. Either it's raise the base association fee, or they do a special assessment, or a combination thereof. So just something to be aware of.
Yeah, but I think it's a good law. It saves lives.
It saves lives at the end of the day. So
basically, Senate Bill 252 took effect June 2023. The law emphasizes respect for individuals' choice and autonomy in health-related decisions. By prohibiting mandatory COVID-19 vaccines, proof of mask wearing by businesses and nonprofits, including HOAs, it reflects the commitment to preserving personal freedoms while balancing public health consideration. Yeah, I agree with that one too. Just because you live in a building, they can't mandate to you that you need to take the COVID-19 shot.
Right. I mean, that's medicine going into your body. So
yeah. So I agree with that bill too.
Yep. Senate Bill 360 took effect in April of 23. This bill has sparked controversy over its impact on homeowners. While it provides a clear framework for addressing construction defects, the perceived alignment with developer interests raises concerns about the balance of rights between developers and homeowners. Homeowners may find themselves at a disadvantage if defects arise after the repose period has elapsed, underscoring the importance of vigilance and timely action in identifying and addressing potential construction issues. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's really not too much to add to that one. It's, you know, I think that's a good one too.
Yeah, so let's talk about the purpose of an HOA in Florida according to this article. In case you're new to an HOA and their fees, so what are some homeowner association fees does? An HOA makes to enforce rules in subdivision, planned communities, condo buildings. Some examples of common HOA regulations are architectural control, lawn or holiday decoration and restrictions.
Yep.
You know, they don't want Christmas lights up, you know.
Right, they're not talking like your decorative, like we have lights for the trees and stuff, but they don't want Christmas lights up or holiday lights up, multicolored.
Noise complaints, home occupancy limits, parking rules, pet size, you know, short-term rentals. You know, they're looking at things that will devalue the home. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, because it's particularly with like short-term rentals. So they don't want people to come into neighborhoods and then start turning everything into rentals, where then you have a majority of rentals in the neighborhood, which could bring down the values.
And they don't want somebody setting up shop and, you know, in some of these HOAs and have broken cars in their driveway, couches, or anything like that.
Right.
you know, and so they're just trying to keep up, but sometimes they go too far.
Exactly. They take certain words, or they try to fit an interpretation, and the goal of the law wasn't to do what they're doing, but it's needing to fit a situation, and then the can is opened and the worms can't get put back sometimes.
Yeah, like in my association, I got a letter because I had a palm tree and it was really hot here, and it just fell over because it was just too hot. It wasn't raining here, so it just bent over. Within a day or two, I got a letter saying, hey, your palm tree, one of the branches is hanging down.
Yeah.
I think that's a little extreme.
Yeah.
Wait till it rains and give it a little water, it'll pop back up.
Exactly. It's like, come on. So, you know, yeah, I get it. Like, I too, I sympathize on both sides. I've sat on my HOA boards, not in this neighborhood, but in a previous neighborhood. You know, because there was just too much craziness going on. So, you know, a lot of us just kind of got fed up with it and decided to get on the board, and it was time for a change. Yeah. You know, right now, our board that we have in my current neighborhood, they're great. I don't really have any desire to get on the board, but, you know, I'll probably make a little more concerted effort to start making more meetings in light of some of the issues that have arisen. But at the end of the day, issues can get caused without a ton of research being done on the board's part, or the subcommittee's part.
A lot of the boards don't even know these rules.
Exactly. And in my situation, when I had conversations with multiple board members, they were not aware of the laws that I was able to do a quick Google search on, and I don't expect them to. And I don't expect them to be,
but before they accuse somebody or
right.
say, hey, you're doing something wrong, they should say, hey, can we say this? Can we enforce this?
Yeah. Yeah,
you know?
We have to remember one thing when it comes to HOAs. This is my biggest thing with HOAs, my biggest pet peeve, is we have to remember what it stands for. Homeowners Association, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody is a neighbor, right? It's the neighborhood association. We're all neighbors. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying you got to go hang out and break bread and have a drink and barbecue with all your neighbors, but you do have to remember we're living in a community, and we have the board is made up, and this is on both sides of this too. Mm-hmm. Don't disrespect the board. This board don't disrespect the people. Be respectful of everybody, because we are neighbors, and you know, at the end of the day.
Yeah, but sometimes you have somebody move in. From a different state, and all of a sudden they're like, hey, let's change everything.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, that's right, because they're used to, they want to bring their...
Yeah, don't rock the boat.
Don't rock the boat. If it's working, it's really good. And basically, how do you find the HOA rules? Most of the time you can find bylaws, rules and regulations for your homeowners association at the county clerk's court's website. Is that true?
It is. I've never been lucky enough to find the rules yet. I'm probably not the best research digger when it comes to that, but everybody does say you can. I've found a few, but not commonly.
Okay, all HOAs should be registered with the Florida Department of Division of Corporations and can use their record search to find the HOA's activity status, name, address, and HOA's registered agents, president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary.
Right. Now that stuff I can find. That stuff's very easy, but getting the actual rules, regs, your CCRs, can be sometimes a little bit more difficult. You
know, the whole thing is, I'm not a fan for HOAs. I'm a fan for HOAs if it's like, you give them a couple $100 a year just to take care of a little common areas, and then they leave you alone.
Right.
You know, and I'm not into gated communities. I do not want to go through a gate and press in a code to get...
You hate my house.
Yeah, I can't stand, like, I have to stop, put in a code, wait till the gate opens up, you know, and then I drive in, and then when I want to leave, I wait till it opens up again. My blood pressure goes up.
I've always hit my remote like down the street. All right, when's it gonna grab me?
No, but HOA is not for me. My next house, that's why in Hudson, you know, there's no HOAs. I could keep
just a moat with sharks and alligators.
That's it, and I keep my boat there, and everybody can look at my boat, and that's it.
There you go.
That's my 2 cents on HOAs. I'm not a big fan.
I have mixed feelings on them. I think it's nice, you know, when you get a good HOA and you have a good board and a good CDD. Like, for instance, our CDD, as an example, they've had the same manager, literally manager and CDD company for the better part of 19 years. And that says a lot to have the same exact manager, and that place is run like a top. Not a dictatorship, but a top. It looks really nice there. The HOA boards, that's
you're being nice if they watch this video. Be like, oh, he's a nice guy.
Look how nice he is, man. He's being nice on
me. Okay, let's let him go.
Yeah. No. Yeah, they don't want that fight. No, it's just remember, if you do get accused or you do get looped into somebody else's drama, like me, just remember that they're your neighbors that you're talking to, and you know, you do kind of owe it to everybody to practice what you preach. If you want to be respected, then you know, you want respect, give respect, and try to help solve the problem and don't become the problem, or you know, add to the problem, and just look things up. I mean, that's it at the end of the day.
Well, that's today's video. You got anything to add?
Nope, that's it. I love it.
Hey, like always, do me a favor, subscribe, and we'll talk to you on the next one. Thanks.
Hey, is this thing off? I really do. I can't stand my HOA. Oh!
I would leave that in there.